Chapter 71. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Word came down. Chen, I'm hearing through the grapevine that Yum Brands is planning a full-on assault against Fading Group in the next few days. They're gearing up now. Chen Fan got this intel from a high-level Fading executive. A full-on assault? Chen Fan frowned, replying, You sure about that? Pretty sure, like 60 to 70%. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, got it, Chen Fan replied, making a mental note. Something felt off. Yum Brands was a major player, so them coming after him wasn't exactly a surprise. But for something like this, which would be top secret until it actually kicked off, to leak to a mid-level Fading exec. The security seemed way too lax. Chen Fan couldn't shake the feeling that something else was going on. On a hunch, Chen Fan called Wei Jingxiong, his contact in Jiangzhou. Wei had ears everywhere and always had the inside scoop. Wei, for instance, had been the one to tip him off about the Chen family's play for Wanheng Software Group. After the call connected, Chen Fan asked Wei to sniff around. Mr. Chen, consider it done. I'll get on it right away. I'll let you know as soon as I hear anything. Wei agreed without hesitation. Chen had pulled strings to get him Zhouxiao Security Group's help the last time and had bailed him out of a real mess. Wei was super grateful. Checking out Yum Brands was the least he could do. He remembered one of his buddy's pals being a Yum Brands VP. He could get the lowdown that way. Meanwhile, at Yum Brands, Kong Baisheng and his son, Kong Haikong, were talking strategy. The word's out. Kong Baisheng asked. Relax, Dad. I already leaked the news that we're going after Chen Fan's Fading Group to a few carefully chosen people. Kong Haikong nodded. I bet Chen Fan's already heard and is scrambling to figure out his next move. Kong Baisheng grinned, pleased. Good job. Going after Fading Group was just a smokescreen, a way to throw Chen Fan off the scent. Kong Baisheng's real target was Yongtai Real Estate Group, Chen Fan's other holding. Fading Group was too small to make a dent. If they were going to take down Chen Fan, they needed to hit him where it hurt. Yongtai Real Estate Group. Now, by leaking the phony info, Chen Fan would put all his resources into protecting Fading Group. And then, they'd strike Yongtai Real Estate Group out of nowhere, blindsiding him. Caught completely off guard, Chen Fan wouldn't stand a chance. Dad, your feint to the east move is brilliant. Chen Fan won't know what hit him. Kong Haikong couldn't help but admire. Let's get everything prepped in the next few days. When we're ready, we'll hit Yongtai Real Estate Group hard. Even if we can't bankrupt them, we'll make them bleed. Kong Baisheng ordered. Yongtai Real Estate Group was worth around $30 billion, so he couldn't underestimate them. Kong Baisheng had to be ready. What about keeping Yongtai Real Estate Group under wraps? How's that going? Kong Baisheng asked cautiously. Keeping the real target a secret was vital if they were going to pull off the surprise attack. Don't sweat it, Dad. Besides us, only a few trusted VPs know, and they're all on our side, Kong Haikong assured him. Good, good. Kong Baisheng nodded. Chen Fan, you're wasting your time and energy. In a few days, you'll be crying. A dark smile spread across Kong Baisheng's face. Back at his villa, Chen Fan, having called Wei Jingxiong, was hanging out at home. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Chen Fan opened it to find Xia Mengmeng standing there. Senior Chen, long time no see. Got anything going on this weekend? Xia Mengmeng asked out of the blue. What's up this weekend? Chen Fan asked. My sister hasn't taken a real break in ages. If you're free, how about we all hang out, maybe do something fun? It'd be a great way for her to unwind. Xia Mengmeng suggested. She was really playing matchmaker, trying to give Senior Chen and her sister more opportunities to connect. Of course, her sister needed a break too. As soon as Xia Mengmeng finished speaking, the system's voice chimed in. Ding, dot, special task issued. Accept Xia Mengmeng's invitation to hang out and have a fun weekend. Dot, task duration. 48 hours. Task reward, 12% ownership of Zhouxiao Security Group, become the top shareholder of Zhouxiao Security Group, and become the new president of Zhouxiao Security Group. Task reward, 67 experience points. Whoa! Chen Fan's eyes lit up at the sight of the special task. This was some prize. 12% ownership of Zhouxiao Security Group. Awesome! Right now, he had 15% ownership, placing him fourth in the company. But this reward of 12%, combined with his current stake, would make Chen Fan the top dog, and give him the president's chair. Unbelievable. Becoming the president of Zhouxiao Security Group would give him a ton more clout within the company and make things much easier for him in the future. Plus, the task itself was a cakewalk. Just hang out for a weekend, compared to a 12% stake in the presidency, 48 hours was nothing. The system was the best. It heard his prayers and was making him the big boss of Zhouxiao Security Group in just a day or two. The system rocked. Chen Fan was ecstatic. I'm free. Chen Fan said to Xia Mengmeng. Great. And, Senior Chen. Could I ask you a favor? Seeing Chen Fan agree, Xia Mengmeng was psyched, but then she suddenly turned mysterious. Chapter 72. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The old man was busy all day, huh? Help with what? Chen Fan asked, surprised. Xia Mengmeng stuck out her tongue, looking helpless. It's like this. Chen, I need your help to figure out a way to trick my sister into coming out. She tried to get her sister out of the Xia group's clutches last time, but this time, it was proving impossible. If she wanted to get her sister out for some weekend relaxation, Chen Fan was her only hope. Trick her out? Why can't you just ask her? Ruoshui works too hard. It's normal for her to want to relax on the weekend. Chen Fan countered. Ever since meeting her, he'd hardly seen Ruoshui rest. Only that one time Xia Mengmeng tricked her out did Ruoshui take half a day off. Hard work is one thing, but this was exhausting. Ruoshui needed a break. It was for her own good, so why not be direct? Can't do that. If I say that, she'll definitely refuse. Xia Mengmeng stated confidently. Before Chen came along, she tried to convince her sister countless times, but Ruoshui wouldn't budge. There was no way she'd agree if Xia Mengmeng used that approach. Maybe not, Chen Fan said. Seriously, she won't come. How about a bet? If you ask her directly and she says no, you owe me one favor. Something within your power, of course. Xia Mengmeng had always been obsessed with Chen Fan's cooking, and she was so confident she would win. She knew her sister wouldn't agree. When she won, she would have Chen Fan cook for her for 5 days straight. No, 7. And if I win? Chen Fan asked. Then I'll owe you one favor. Also within my power, Xia Mengmeng replied casually, sure of her victory. Deal. Chen Fan nodded. He pulled out his phone and called Xia Ruoshui. Soon, her gentle voice came through the line. What's up? Ruoshui, the weekend's coming up. You've been working so hard lately. I'm free this weekend. How about we go away for a short vacation? Take advantage of the weekend to relax. Chen Fan suggested. You can invite Xia Mengmeng, too. Worried that Ruoshui might feel awkward with just the two of them and refuse, Chen Fan specifically mentioned Xia Mengmeng. With her sister around, Ruoshui would feel comfortable. Next to him, Xia Mengmeng shook her head. You're doomed to fail if you say that, Chen, huh? Hearing Chen Fan's invitation, Xia Ruoshui paused, looking at the pile of documents on her desk. Ruoshui recalled her cousin's words and hesitated for a few seconds before making a decision. Okay. She devoted so much to the company over the years, spending almost every day there. Her life was all work and family. This time, she wanted to live for herself. She had been working for months and months without a break. It was time for a little RR. I'll wrap up a few things and head back. See you later. Okay, see you then. Chen Fan hung up and turned to Xia Mengmeng. Done. Ruoshui agreed. Huh. Xia Mengmeng shot to her feet, her face a mask of surprise. She was dumbfounded. What? She said yes. Xia Mengmeng asked again, just to be sure she'd heard right. Yep. Chen Fan nodded. Xia Mengmeng was speechless. What just happened? She had pleaded with her sister so many times, each attempt a long and drawn-out process, but Ruoshui always refused, but with Chen, a few simple words and she agreed? Was there really that big a difference? Xia Mengmeng couldn't help but give Chen Fan a thumbs up. Awesome. I admit defeat. So, what do you want me to do for you? What? I haven't thought about it. Let me think, he replied. Okay. Xia Mengmeng nodded and went back to wait for her sister. Half an hour later, Xia Ruoshui returned. Chen Fan arrived at Xia Ruoshui's villa and met the two sisters. Now, a new problem arose. Where should they go? Hey, I heard that Jiangzhou recently opened a huge amusement park. It's super popular. A lot of my classmates have been, and they said it's a blast. Let's go have some fun, too. Xia Mengmeng suggested the amusement park. Xia Ruoshui was a bit distracted. She couldn't remember the last time she'd been to one. She looked at Chen Fan, and when he didn't object, she agreed. Problem solved. Chen Fan drove his custom Rolls-Royce Phantom and took the Xia sisters to the amusement park. About an hour later, they arrived. Chen Fan was impressed. It was huge. Seeing the crowds of tourists, Chen Fan envied the owner. This place was a goldmine. Chen Fan bought tickets, and the three of them entered the park. As they were deciding what to do first, a particularly thrilling ride in the distance caught Xia Mengmeng's eye. Let's go ride that giant bungee jump, she exclaimed, pointing. Chen Fan looked and saw that it was quite high. Bet you don't dare. Xia Mengmeng looked at Chen Fan, provocatively. Just then, the system's voice chimed in. Ding. Task release. Experience the bungee jumping machine. Task reward. 4% of Yongtai Real Estate Group's shares, becoming the second largest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group. Task reward. 47 experience points. Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Another task? Chen Fan was a little surprised, but when he saw what it involved, it made sense. The system usually doles out tasks for things that aren't too tough. So, getting a task as difficult as bungee jumping? Totally normal. Besides, the reward was a full 4% stake in Yongtai Real Estate Group. Yongtai's market value hovered around $30 billion, so 4% meant $1.2 billion, and he'd become their second largest shareholder. All he had to do was ride a bungee jumping machine and he'd rake in $1.20 billion. That's not your run-of-the-mill reward. If there weren't any limits on these tasks, Chen Fan could bleed the system dry in days. Of course, I'm game for bungee jumping. You up for it? Chen Fan looked at Xia Mengmeng. Me? Totally. Xia Mengmeng puffed out her chest, answering confidently. Bungee jumping is nothing. I could do it in my sleep. Wouldn't even break a sweat. She added, but what about you, Chen? Are you scared? Really? Let's see, then. Chen Fan didn't quite buy it. Ruoshui, how about you? Chen Fan turned to Xia Ruoshui. I think I can handle it. Xia Ruoshui nodded. So, the three of them headed straight for the bungee jumping machine in the distance. It looked tall from afar, but getting up close. It was even higher than they thought. From a distance, it looked maybe 130, 160 feet high, but up close. That was wishful thinking. It had to be pushing 200. Chen Fan and his friends checked out the sign. This thing was about 250 feet tall, the tallest drop in the whole province. No contest. Xia Mengmeng craned her neck, stared at the insane height, and swallowed hard. Gulp, gulp. Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui were just a little impressed, not scared. Chen Fan glanced at Xia Mengmeng. Still wanna go? Yeah, of course. I'm fearless. Born brave. Xia Mengmeng hesitated for a beat, but stuck to her guns, throwing the question back at him. Chen, are you scared? Me? Chen Fan didn't answer. He just got in line, letting his actions speak for themselves. This bungee jumping machine was seriously high, and not a lot of people were lining up. Once this round of jumpers was done, it'd probably be Chen Fan's turn. Xia Ruoshui stuck close, right behind Chen Fan. Xia Mengmeng hesitated for another moment, then followed. A few minutes later, the current jumpers came down, and it was Chen Fan's turn. Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui strapped in. Xia Mengmeng froze for a second, then climbed on, but as soon as she sat down, her legs turned to jelly, her face went white, and her heart started pounding. Ah! I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. A second ago, Xia Mengmeng was all fearless and no sweat, bragging about how cool she'd be. Now, she was instantly admitting defeat. She practically tripped over herself getting off the machine. Chen, you're amazing. I'm out. I'm not doing this. She clung to the railing, refusing to budge no matter how much the staff tried to coax her. Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui were strapped in, unfazed. To be honest, Xia Ruoshui was a little excited. She secretly loved this kind of stuff, but never had the time or anyone to go with. Soon, the bungee jumping machine started up, slowly rising higher and higher, then paused at the top before plummeting. The second they dropped, Xia Ruoshui grabbed Chen Fan's hand, whether out of fear or something else. Nearby, Xia Mengmeng was shaking a little. That bungee jumping machine was crazy fast. Her friend and Chen were unbelievably brave. She'd always said they were a good match, and this pretty much proved it. A few minutes later, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui were done. They were a little shaken, but not scared. As they finished the task, the system's voice chimed in. Ding! Bungee jumping experience complete. Congratulations! You've obtained 4% of Yongtai Real Estate Group's shares, becoming the second largest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group. The share acquisition contract is waiting for you in your study. Congratulations. You've earned 47 experience points. Task done. With 4% of Yongtai Real Estate Group's shares secured, Chen Fan had officially become the second largest shareholder. In a few minutes, he'd made $1.2 billion. This was easy money. System, he thought, wanna hit the bungee jumping machine again? I'm not tired. I'm totally up for a tough challenge like that, even a dozen times. Chen Fan was hoping the system could hear him. But this time, the humanized system wasn't playing ball. It stayed silent, as if to say, yeah, right. You chickened out, Chen Fan said to Xia Mengmeng. I just felt a little dizzy, but I'm awesome at everything else. Once she was away from the bungee jumping machine, Xia Mengmeng's confidence came roaring back. The three of them kept wandering the park, looking for the next thing that caught their eye. Later, Chen Fan went with Xia Ruoshui and Xia Mengmeng on the Ferris wheel. Time slipped by, and the system's voice suddenly broke through the silence. Today's system reward was here. Ding! On the 16th day of severing ties, you've received a primary forced acquisition card. Chen Fan frowned at today's reward. A primary forced acquisition card? What the heck was that? It sounded powerful. This was the first time Chen Fan had gotten this kind of special card. He noticed a note under the system reward, and it looked like it explained what this thing did. Chen Fan couldn't wait to see it. As soon as he took a look, he was floored by how powerful this primary forced acquisition card really was. Third update's done. Please give it a 5-star rating and share to get the word out. Thanks for your support. Chapter 74. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This new card is a game changer. The primary forced acquisition card lets you snag 4% of the shares of any company with a market value or total assets under $50 billion. Seriously? That means Chen Fan could pick any industry in Zhonghai province, no, the whole country, maybe even the world, as long as its value is below that mark. He can grab shares in whatever company he wants and call the shots. This is hands down the best, top tier, most valuable reward the system's given him lately. If he wanted, Chen Fan could even use it to reclaim 4% of Yongtai Real Estate Group and become their biggest shareholder again. or he could directly boost his control over Jiuxiao Security Group by grabbing another 4%, but for now, Chen Fan's holding back on using the primary forced acquisition card on either of those companies. That'd be a waste. Yongtai Real Estate Group's market value is only $30 billion, and Jiuxiao Security Group's total assets are even less than $50 billion. Now that he finally has this primary forced acquisition card, why not aim higher and target some well-known national or global companies worth around $50 billion? That's how he can really max out the card's potential. And boost his own gains, too. Yeah, that's the plan. Chen Fan decides to sit on it for now. He needs to do his homework and figure out which company's shares are the best target for the primary forced acquisition card. Used right, it could be the key to overtaking the Chen family and taking down the Jinling Su family. If the primary forced acquisition card is this powerful, how crazy will the intermediate or advanced versions be? Could they let you directly snatch shares in a megacorp worth hundreds of billions, or even trillions? The more Chen Fan thinks about it, the more it seems possible. He's only a level 1 system now, so all he gets is the primary card. If he can level up to 2 or 3, the intermediate and advanced versions are sure to appear. And if he gets his hands on one of those? Game over. Chen Fan's practically buzzing with excitement. He's fired up and more motivated than ever to level up. System, hook me up with more tasks. Chen Fan mentally pleads with the system. He's already racked up nearly half the experience points needed to hit level 2, so he's almost there. At lunchtime, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui grab a quick bite and chill in the amusement park restaurant. While they're waiting, Chen Fan starts Googling to find famous big companies with a market value around $50 billion. Soon, he has a few promising targets. After leaving the restaurant, they spot a milk tea shop, so Chen Fan goes to get some. Xia Ruoshui and her sister, Xia Mengmeng, wait outside. Xia Ruoshui's all class and brains, with a cool vibe and stunning looks. Xia Mengmeng's quirky and adorable. Standing there, the Xia sisters are hard to miss. Nearby, 3 or 4 young guys notice the Xia sisters, especially the handsome leader, whose eyes light up. In a heartbeat, the handsome guy ditches his friends and approaches the Xia sisters, smooth as can be. Hey there, ladies. Just saw you standing here, anything I can help you with? The handsome guy is all smiles. Xia Ruoshui's not having it. She turns away and stares in the other direction, totally ignoring him. Seeing this, the handsome guy shifts his attention to Xia Mengmeng, who does respond, but not in a way he likes. Yeah, you can leave. The handsome guy's speechless. Just then, his buddies rush over to bail him out. Mr. Han, you know, this gorgeous woman is Xia, the CEO of Jiangzhou. The handsome guy's friends are clearly locals and recognize Xia Ruoshui. CEO Xia, this is Han Zhenyu, Mr. Han, from a major group in Zhonghai province. Big connections. His friends are laying it on thick. A major group in Zhonghai province, huh? Impressive, Xia Mengmeng says, unimpressed. They're just keeping a low profile. Even if they were the richest family in Zhonghai province, they wouldn't be fit to shine the Xia family's shoes. Beauty, you don't understand. Mr. Han's dad's group is kind of a big deal in Zhonghai province. His friend keeps hyping him up. Hearing this, Han Zhenyu puffs out his chest, looking smug. Keep it down, keep it down. Han Zhenyu waves his hand, but the pride's plastered all over his face. CEO Xia, Han Xiao's dad is the big cheese at Zhonghai province's #1 security group, Jiuxiao Security Group. Major player, but the friend keeps going. No. Not a big cheese, my dad's just the 4th in command at Jiuxiao Security Group. Han Zhenyu says it with a grin, but before Han Zhenyu can finish, a puzzled voice comes from behind. Since when did you become my son? The next thing they know, a stunned Chen Fan strolls over. Chapter 75. You are listening at novelfull.audio. They were so angry, they couldn't help but laugh. I don't have a son like you. Chen Fan just glanced at Han Zhenyu and shook his head. Han Zhenyu and his buddies went ballistic at that. Who do you think you are, talking to Han Xiao like that? Yeah, who gave you the right to talk to Han Xiao like that? Han Zhenyu's crew laid into Chen Fan. Han Zhenyu glared at Chen Fan, practically daring him to move. This guy had the nerve to try and one-up him, trying to claim he was his dad. What's your angle here, trying to get one over on me? Han Zhenyu exploded. Chen Fan just shrugged. Get one over on you? You're the one trying to make me your dad. You're the one trying to pull a fast one. He currently owned 15% of Joxiao Security Group's shares, making him the fourth biggest boss, and this punk was going around saying his dad was the fourth biggest boss. That was him. The kid was practically begging to be his son. Who was trying to pull what on who here? How am I trying to get one over on you? Han Zhenyu shot back. Wait a minute, are you the fourth biggest boss at Joxiao Security Group? Han Zhenyu suddenly stammered. He'd been lying. His actual father was a boss at Joxiao Security Group, but only seventh in line, not fourth. He'd been trying to impress some new guys by exaggerating his dad's position. He'd picked fourth because the top two bosses were pretty well known, but the fourth was harder to pin down, making his boasts tougher to fact-check. But who could have predicted this? I'm Chen Fan, the fourth biggest boss at Joxiao Security Group, Chen Fan confirmed. You? The fourth biggest boss? No way, you're just bluffing. Han Zhenyu was doubtful. Bluffing? Your last name's Han, which means you must be Han Da's son. Want me to give him a call? Chen Fan offered. Han Zhenyu instantly paled. This guy knew his dad's name and was threatening to call him right then and there. That meant he was definitely an insider at Joxiao Security Group, and most likely the real fourth biggest shareholder. Mr. Chen. Brother Chen. Uncle Chen. I messed up. I am so sorry. Han Zhenyu groveled, going so far as to put Chen Fan on the same level as his own father. Slap, star. Slap, star. Slap, star. Han Zhenyu started slapping himself hard, his face quickly turning red. I'm a nobody. I am trash. Han Zhenyu's buddies were dumbfounded. What was going on? Was it possible this guy really was the fourth biggest boss at Joxiao Security Group, and Han Zhenyu had been conning them? Why else would he be so scared? Boss. Boss, we didn't realize who you were. We're idiots. Boss, we messed up. Following Han Zhenyu's lead, the other guys started slapping themselves too. A crowd of curious onlookers quickly gathered. Get lost. You're ruining our day, Chen Fan said, wanting to avoid any more attention from these annoying guys. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Thank you, Mr. Chen. Han Zhenyu and his crew quickly scrambled away. With Senior Chen around, we don't have to worry about those annoying flies. Xia Mengmeng sighed in relief. Chen Fan shared the milk tea with the two girls, and they continued to stroll around the park. A little later, Chen Fan received a call from Wei Jingxiong. Mr. Chen, I've got some intel on the Yum Group. Wei Jingxiong slurred, sounding tipsy. Oh. What's the scoop? Chen Fan asked. Mr. Chen, you were right on the money. Kong Baisheng, the big cheese at Yum Brands, is definitely a shady character. He was talking loud about wanting to kneecap Fading Group. All that leaking of info was just a smokescreen, to throw you off track, Mr. Chen, Wei Jingxiong explained, having pried the information out of a Yum Brands VP after a few drinks. Kong Baisheng is actually getting for the Yongtai Real Estate Group, the one where you have that stake. I knew it. Chen Fan muttered to himself. His hunch had been right. There was no way top-secret information from Yum Brands would just fall into their laps. The whole Fading Group angle was just a feint. I get it. Thanks, Mr. Wei. I owe you one. I'll treat you to dinner sometime. Chen Fan said politely. Someone had helped him uncover the truth. It was only right to offer dinner. Mr. Chen, you're too kind. Just give me a shout if you need anything else. Wei Jingxiong said. Wei Jingxiong knew Chen Fan was a big shot with a bright future. Getting close to a guy like that was a no-brainer. Yum Group. Chen Fan murmured, Kong Baixing wouldn't have an easy time going after Yongtai Real Estate Group. Chen Fan sent out a few messages to the people at Yongtai Real Estate Group, telling them to prep for a potential attack. Too bad I'm not the majority shareholder or president of Yongtai Real Estate Group. It'd be easier to arrange things, Chen Fan thought with a hint of regret. As the second largest shareholder and VP, his say wasn't as strong as the president's or chairman's. With the arrangements made, Chen Fan and the girls continued their stroll through the amusement park. Soon, they were drawn to a more adrenaline-pumping attraction. Sis, Senior Chen, let's go on this one. Xia Mengmeng said eagerly. The attraction in question was a vertical roller coaster. It featured a stomach-churning 165-foot drop, about the height of a 20-story building, and a near 90-degree plunge. Mengmeng, are you sure you can handle it? After the earlier incident, Xia Ruoxue couldn't help but ask. No sweat. That was just a fluke. I'm a coaster fiend. This is a piece of cake. Xia Mengmeng boasted. Come on, sis, Senior Chen, I'm gonna be the calmest, coolest cat on that ride. You two are gonna freak out way more than me. Just then, the system's voice chimed in, ding, dot, task initiated, ride the vertical roller coaster, dot, task reward, 4% share increase in Yongtai Real Estate Group, plus promotion to majority shareholder and chairman of the board, dot, task reward, 51 experience points. Chapter 76. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The system chimed in again. Huh, Chen Fan's eyes lit up, this system was on point. Another task already? He'd been wishing for more tasks so he could level up. Now he was being challenged again, and he'd just been complaining about not being the biggest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group, making it harder to deal with Yum Brands. Now, the system was handing him the chairman's seat and majority stake. Sweet. So, sis, Chen, you game? Xia Mengmeng asked. What's to be afraid of? Just don't chicken out later. Chen Fan shot back. That was an accident. I won't be scared this time. I'll be the calmest one. Xia Mengmeng retorted, hands on her hips. They were all in, so they headed straight for the vertical roller coaster. This thing was even crazier than the bungee jump they strapped themselves in. Compared to last time, Xia Mengmeng was pumped and even dared to brag to Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue. Chen, let's see who stays cool. Bet it's me. The roller coaster started its slow climb to the peak, almost straight up. After a brief pause, it plunged straight down. Ah! I want to get off, Mom. Xia Mengmeng was terrified, tears streamed down her face. Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue were just a little shaken up, but Xia Mengmeng's legs went rubbery. They helped her over to the side to recover. Just then, the system spoke up, ding, dot, riding the vertical roller coaster, mission complete, dot, congratulations. You've acquired 4% of Yongtai Real Estate Group shares, making you the chairman and largest shareholder. The share acquisition contract is in your villa's study. Check it out. Congratulations. You've earned 51 experience points, mission accomplished. Chen Fan was now officially in charge of Yongtai Real Estate Group, chairman and majority shareholder. With this kind of leverage, dealing with Yum Brands would be way easier. Chen Fan pulled out his phone and, as chairman, started issuing orders. After sorting that out, he went online to dig deeper into his primary forced acquisition card, target. He was planning something big this time. Turns out the total assets of supercar brands like Bugatti and Pagani aren't that high. After some research, Chen Fan was surprised. These top-tier supercar brands only had assets in the billions, maybe tens of billions. The owner of Pagani, for example, was only worth tens of billions. Acquiring shares in one of those, like Bugatti or Pagani, wasn't the best use of his card. Chen Fan moved on. He set his sights on other luxury brands, like Rolex or Tiffany. These companies were worth tens of billions. Unfortunately, his primary forced acquisition card only worked on groups with total assets or market value around 50 billion. These were too big. just when he was about to give up, he saw another famous brand. He knew instantly, he had to have it. That company was Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe, the world's top watch brand, the undisputed king of watches. Founded in the 19th century, it has a 200-plus-year history. It's a symbol of status and power, beloved by royalty, CEOs, and the ultra-rich worldwide. In the 16th World Top 500 Brands, Patek Philippe ranked 238th. In the 17th World Top 500 Brands, Patek Philippe ranked 208th. For 2 years in a row, the Hurun Research Institute's Hurun-Dacia Multimillionaire Brand Preference Report ranked Patek Philippe as the most favored watch brand among the rich in Dacia. Among all watch brands, Patek Philippe's influence was unparalleled. Even among the world's top luxury brands, it was one of the best. More importantly, Patek Philippe's market value fluctuated between 50 and 60 billion, and was currently around 50 billion, perfect for Chen Fan's card. Compared to Tiffany and other brands he considered, Chen Fan wanted Patek Philippe's shares more. If he could become a shareholder of Patek Philippe, why wouldn't he? Taking 4% of Patek Philippe's shares would dwarf anything else he considered. Using the primary forced acquisition card on Patek Philippe was the smartest, best option, hands down. Being a shareholder of Patek Philippe would be Chen Fan's most impressive title. What was he waiting for? He dove into his system backpack, grabbed the primary forced acquisition card, and clicked use. Ding! Enter the company name to be forcibly acquired. The system prompted. Patek Philippe. Chen Fan carefully typed it in, excited, then, he clicked OK. Forcibly acquiring 4% of Patek Philippe's shares, the card activated. He hoped it would go smoothly. Time ticked by. After several seconds, the system spoke again. Chapter 77. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The new contract was signed, sealed, and delivered. Ding! Acquisition of 4% of Patek Philippe shares successful. Congratulations on becoming a shareholder of Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe representatives will contact you within 5 days to finalize the agreement. Please be available. Chen Fan was officially a Patek Philippe shareholder. This was a seriously impressive title to add to his resume. The paperwork wasn't finalized yet, but it was just a matter of days before the Patek Philippe team would be in touch for the signing. Chen Fan couldn't wipe the grin off his face. Patek Philippe shareholder. That's gotta be his biggest flex yet. That primary forced acquisition card really came through. System, Chen Fan thought, if you've got any more of those primary forced acquisition cards lying around, send them my way. Leveling up the system was a goal, but that would take time. Another primary forced acquisition card, on the other hand, if he snagged a few more, he could become a major player at Patek Philippe. Third largest shareholder. He'd take it. The system remained silent. System, silence equals consent, right? Consider it a done deal. Chen Fan unilaterally declared victory. High on his Patek Philippe win, Chen Fan and the girls kept hanging out at the playground. Around 4 or 5, they decided to call it a day. Chen, how about we skip eating out tonight? Could you work your magic again? Xia Mengmeng batted her eyelashes. Yeah, another barbecue. Xia Ruoxue chimed in, clearly hoping for a repeat performance. She was still thinking about that last barbecue at Chen Fan's place. Barbecue it is. Chen Fan agreed. They headed straight to the supermarket to stock up on supplies. That evening, the three of them were grilling again. While they ate, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue chatted about Yum brands. Chen Fan picked Xia Ruoxue's brain about Yum brands. When Xia Ruoxue realized Yum brands was planning to target Chen Fan, her expression turned frosty. Yum brands, Xia Ruoxue said coldly. Chen Fan, I have an idea. A spark ignited in her eyes. Since Yum brands is using misdirection, why can't we go for a sneak attack? Xia Ruoxue said, lowering her voice. Sneak attack. Chen Fan raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Yum Brands is focused on Yongtai Real Estate Group, right? Play along for a while, keep them busy and distracted. Make them think that's the only game in town. Xia Ruoxue leaned forward. Then, my company, the Xia Group, will suddenly launch a surprise attack on Yum Brands. They'll be caught completely off guard, with all their resources tied up with Yongtai Real Estate Group. Finally, we'll team up and crush Yum Brands for good. Whoa, Chen Fan's eyes widened. That's a brilliant idea. Ruoxue was a force to be reckoned with, a true powerhouse. What do you think, Chen? My sister is smart and amazing. Whoever marries her is one lucky guy. I just don't know who that might be. Xia Mengmeng said, a mischievous glint in her eye. Xia Ruoxue blushed at her sister's praise. After a day of fun and food, everyone was ready to crash. The next day, Chen Fan received a message from the president of Zhoxiao Security Group. The retired special ops team he'd hired, experts in tracking, were about to arrive in Jiangzhou and needed to know where to meet. Have them come to my manor. The address is. Chen Fan thought for a moment. Everyone knew he lived in Yujing Villa, but his private manor was a secret. He still had questions about his parents' disappearance. He wanted to keep this investigation low-key. His manor was the perfect meeting spot. 40 minutes later, Chen Fan met the 3 former Special Forces operatives at the manor. Mr. Chen. Mr. Chen. They greeted him. Each of them exuded an aura of strength and capability. Clearly, they were not to be trifled with. Hello, Chen Fan replied, then explained the mission. They weren't surprised. Finding people was their specialty. Mr. Chen, the trail is over a year cold. It's going to be difficult, and it will take time. The leader, a burly man, said seriously. I understand. I can wait. Just find something, anything, a single clue. Chen Fan nodded. If you run into any roadblocks, contact me immediately. I'll leverage my resources to help you. Your job is to find them or find information. Don't worry about stepping on toes. I've got your back. I'll take the fall if anything goes wrong. Chen Fan reassured them, wanting them to focus on the mission. Understood, Mr. Chen. You have our word. The 3 nodded in agreement. Chen Fan pulled a bank card from his pocket and handed it to their leader. Mr. Chen, this. The 3 were taken aback. There's $1.5 million on this card. $1 million is for your time and effort, and $500,000 is for expenses. Chen Fan explained. He knew the importance of incentives. Without them, why would anyone give their all? $1 million. That's too much. Mr. Chen, you're too generous. We can't accept this. They refused. $1.5 million upfront, with $1 million as a bonus? That was unheard of. The $1 million was more than their annual salary. Take it. This is just the beginning. Find them, and I'll give you 10 times that amount as a bonus. Each of you gets 10 times the bonus. Chen Fan upped the ante. 10 times the bonus? That's $10 million. If they found them, each of them would be getting a $10 million bonus. They could retire right then and there. Chen was crazy generous. They were suddenly overflowing with motivation. We won't let you down, Mr. Chen. We'll move heaven and earth to find them. Yes, Mr. Chen, you can count on us. They pledged their loyalty. From that day forward, they would follow Chen Fan's orders without question. Chen Fan nodded, pleased, and exchanged contact information with them. Alright, get going. Contact me with any news. Chen Fan instructed. Yes, sir. The 3 left immediately, divvied up the cash, and went their separate ways. Don't disappoint me, Chen Fan muttered. He still had a special task to complete. Once done, he would become the head honcho of Zhoxiao Security Group. With greater control within Zhoxiao Security Group, he could mobilize even more people to search. He couldn't believe that the top retired special forces in the whole province couldn't dig up a single clue. Mom and Dad, I'm going to find you. Chen Fan resolved. Suddenly, the system chimed in, ding, dot, 17th day after cutting ties, reward, 1 primary bankruptcy card. Chapter 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, new cards are dropping like crazy. The primary bankruptcy card? What the heck is this? Chen Fan wondered, checking out his reward for the day. Yesterday's primary forced acquisition card was a game changer, so this bankruptcy card had to be something special too. He dug into the details and his jaw dropped. The primary bankruptcy card could instantly wipe out $3 billion in assets from any company worth $50 billion or less. Used right, this card was a freakin' weapon in his arsenal, especially against the Chen family. At first glance, you might think, $3 billion? That's a dent, but not a knockout blow for a company worth billions. But here's the kicker, timing. If you use the primary bankruptcy card when a company's already on the ropes, that $3 billion loss could be fatal. It's like landing the perfect haymaker when your opponent's teetering on the edge. Take Yum Brands, for example. He and Xia Ruoxue were already planning a tag team takedown. If he dropped the primary bankruptcy card while they were getting hammered from all sides, Yum would be toast. Of course, that was just a hypothetical. With him and Xia Ruoxue working together, Yum didn't stand a chance anyway, so no need to waste the card. Now, the Jinling Su family was swimming in cash. The primary bankruptcy card wouldn't even make them flinch. He'd need an intermediate or advanced bankruptcy card to really sting them, but the Chen family? This card was perfect, especially if he targeted Chen Capital Group, their bread and butter. It would send shockwaves through the whole family. Once Yum was out of the picture, Chen Capital Group was next on his hit list. He'd already scoped out the Chen family's assets. He wasn't interested in nickel-and-diming them. He wanted to go for the jugular. When Chen Capital Group was backed into a corner, that's when he'd play the primary bankruptcy card and deliver the final blow. The Chens were way too attached to Chen Capital Group. Its failure would be a major loss, a real gut punch. They would bleed money. This primary bankruptcy card was going to be a surprise and make them happy. Nice, nice, he said, nodding. The system was finally hearing his prayers. No forced acquisition card today, but this bankruptcy card was just what he needed to mess with the Chen family. He was even more motivated to level up the system and unlock even more powerful cards. With his plans in motion, Chen Fan headed back to Yujing Villa, where Xia Mengmeng and Xia Ruoxue were already packed and ready to roll. He still had those system-assigned tasks to complete. Once he finished them, he'd be the top dog at Zhouxiao Security Group. No time to waste. Going out, Senior Chen? Xia Mengmeng asked. Just grabbing some groceries, he said. We'll head out after lunch. Where are we going this afternoon? Xia Ruoxue wasn't sure. While she was a rock star in business, planning fun stuff wasn't exactly her forte. Xia Mengmeng thought out loud, hey, sis, remember you said you'd teach me to play golf? How about we hit a driving range? Yesterday's game was awesome. How about a repeat? Sounds good, Xia Ruoxue said. Then let's go to Guanshan International Golf Course, Chen Fan decided. Might as well stick to his own territory, it's just easier. Meanwhile, at a fancy villa across town, the doorbell was ringing. Yang Xingping, former top dog and now just the second biggest shareholder at Yongtai Real Estate Group, answered the door. Standing on his doorstep was a wall of thugs dressed in black. And right in front, two guys with smirks that screamed trouble. Point one was Chen Jinping, the fourth son of the Chen patriarch. The other, a bald dude covered in tattoos, looked like he could handle himself in a fight. Boss Yang, meet Chen Jinping, a big shot in the Jiangzhou Chen family. Then, Chen Jinping made the introductions for the bald man. And this is Yan Jiobin, the boss Yan. Yan Jiobin? That Master Yan? Yang Xingping's face paled. Yan Jiobin was a legend in Jiangzhou's underworld, known for his explosive temper and an army of hired muscle. He made Wei Jingxiong look like a choir boy. Nobody messed with him. Boss Yang, Mr. Chen and I came all the way here, and you're going to leave us standing outside? Yan Jiubin said, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Please, come in. Yang Xingping reluctantly ushered them inside. He couldn't afford to piss off Master Yan. I heard that Chen Fan kid snatched your spot as the top shareholder at Yongtai, Chen Jinping said, cutting straight to the chase. This visit was part of the elder Chen's latest evil scheme. The old man figured that Yongtai Real Estate Group was Chen Fan's main strength. The only reason he even dared to challenge the Chen family was because he had Yongtai backing him up. Yongtai was Chen Fan's base, his most important asset, so, if they wanted to crush Chen Fan once and for all, they had to cut him off at the knees, starting with Yongtai, take away his support, and Chen Fan would be begging for forgiveness, knowing that Chen Fan was tight with Jiangzhou's other big shot, Wei Jingxiong. Mr. Chen tapped his fourth son, Chen Jinping, to handle things. After all, Jinping was buddies with Yan Jiubin, the even bigger boss who ran the Jiangzhou underworld. Being robbed of your company is a huge blow. If I were you, Boss Yang, I wouldn't let it stand. How about we team up against Chen Fan? Chen Jinping offered. Chapter 79. You are listening at novelfull.audio. They were truly happy together. The Chen family showed up, just as expected, thanks to Mr. Chen's involvement. Yang Xingping chuckled to himself. Seeing them arrive, he knew exactly what they wanted. Sorry, I'm not getting involved in your feud with Mr. Chen, Yang Xingping stated. Even though Chen Fan had taken his place as the biggest shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group, Yang Xingping didn't resent him. In fact, he was relieved. He knew his limitations had prevented him from taking Yongtai Real Estate Group any further, but now that Mr. Chen had a deal with Wanheng Software Group and was even friends with their CEO, everyone in the company recognized his talent. With Mr. Chen now at the helm, Yongtai Real Estate Group could reach new heights, maybe even hit a market value of $40 or $50 billion. His potential was unlimited. As a major shareholder, Yang Xingping's own wealth would grow with the company. The better Mr. Chen did, the more money he'd make, so, of course, he'd support Mr. Chen all the way. Why wouldn't he? The title of largest shareholder versus billions in real money? No contest. Mr. Yang, you're being very generous, Chen Jinping remarked. But if you work with us, we can sideline Chen Fan or even remove him as chairman. Then, we could help you reclaim your top shareholder spot. Doesn't that tempt you? No, Yang Xingping replied, shaking his head. Seeing his lack of interest, Chen Jinping hinted, we've already swayed several other shareholders at Yongtai. With your support, sidelining or even ousting Chen Fan will be a breeze. That he tried to sweeten the deal. No, thanks. I'm busy. Please leave, Yang Xingping said, standing up. You ungrateful jerk. Yan Jiubin blurted out. Old Chen, if this guy won't play nice, let's drop the act. Yan Jiubin had lost his patience. Mr. Yang, we tried being polite first. Now, we're forced to take a different approach. Don't blame us. Come in, Yan Jiubin called out. Instantly, one of his men entered, carrying a stack of photos. Take a look, Yan Jiubin instructed, handing the photos to Yang Xingping. Yang Xingping's face paled. What's the meaning of this? He demanded, clearly panicked. The photos showed his daughter, who was studying out of town in Zhonghai province. Our people have been watching your daughter. We know where she lives. We've also got a dozen guys keeping an eye on things. If you agree to team up with Lao Chen against Chen Fan, I guarantee her safety. But if you refuse, well, I can't make any promises. Yan Jiubin dropped the pretense and threatened Yang Xingping directly. Bang. You wouldn't dare kidnap my daughter in broad daylight. Yang Xingping slammed his fist on the table. Oh, wouldn't I? Yan Jiubin smiled slyly. Yang Xingping knew then that Yan Jiubin was capable of anything. He had a dark past, even if he'd cleaned it up in recent years. One last chance. Are you in or out? Yan Jiubin pressed, his voice menacing. Think about your daughter. After a long silence, Yang Xingping sighed and caved. Okay. I'll work with the Chen family to undermine Chen Fan within the company and sideline him. I'm sorry, Mr. Chen, Yang Xingping thought. Ha ha ha, that's what I wanted to hear. Yan Zhobin laughed, Chen Jinping smiled in satisfaction. Old Yan's methods were always effective. We'll move tomorrow. Here's the plan. Chen Jinping started laying out their scheme, determined to sideline Chen Fan before he even knew what hit him and remove him from his position as chairman of Yongtai Real Estate Group. By the time Chen Fan realized what was happening, it would be too late. Backstabbed by his own allies, Chen Fan would be devastated to lose Yongtai Real Estate Group support. Ha 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 ha, Chen Jinping couldn't contain his glee. Cut ties with our family, will you? This is the fate you chose, you little punk. Later that afternoon, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoshui arrived at Guanshan International Golf Course. It was the weekend, so the place was packed. Walk-ins couldn't even get a tee time, but as the owner, Chen Fan got the best course immediately for himself, Xia Ruoshui, and her sister. After playing for a while, they heard a commotion nearby. 3 people get the best course, while I have over a dozen and you stick us with that dump. A slightly overweight man in his 30s was berating a golf course employee. I'm a top-tier member. How can you treat me like this? The employee glanced nervously at Chen Fan and his group, unsure how to respond. Chen Fan had only been to Guanshan International Golf Course once, so most of the staff didn't recognize him. Maybe they got here earlier, the employee offered. Humph. The man didn't buy it and marched over to Chen Fan. I'll pay for your entire day here if you give us this course, the man said to Chen Fan arrogantly. His event today was too important for a second-rate course. No, thanks, Chen Fan replied. Then how about $100,000? No, $500,000. Just give us the spot. The man, clearly wealthy, tried to buy Chen Fan off. Get lost. You're bothering us, Chen Fan waved him away. They were having a good time, and this idiot was throwing money around. It was infuriating. $1 million? The man kept upping the offer. Seeing that Chen Fan was unmoved, he played his trump card. I know the owner of Guanshan International Golf Course. We're good friends. Don't make me call him. The man threatened with a hint of menace. Oh, really? You know the owner? Chen Fan was amused. He certainly didn't remember having such a close friend. Don't believe me? Want me to call him right now? The man pulled out his phone, raising his voice. Sir, please, don't bother the boss over something like this, the employee pleaded, fearing the man would actually call. The more the staff tried to stop him, the more the man bragged. So? $1 million? Will you give us the course now? The man demanded. If you don't, I'm calling. Once I get the owner on the line, he'll make sure you're banned from here for good. The man spoke with a sense of superiority. Really? Go ahead then. Don't be shy. Chen Fan responded calmly. You. Seeing that Chen Fan wouldn't budge, the man was getting angry. Fine, have it your way. The truth was, he did know the former owner of Guanshan International Golf Course. The place had changed hands recently. He'd managed to get the current owner's number through the old one, but he'd never actually contacted him. He'd been trying to scare Chen Fan into handing over the course, but now, goaded by Chen Fan, he had to make the call. He hoped that his relationship with the previous owner would give him some leverage. Once I get him on the phone, you'll be handing over the course and getting kicked out, the man sneered while dialing the number. But before he could finish the sentence, Chen Fan's phone rang. Chapter 80. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The fat man was still trying to play it cool when Chen Fan's phone rang. He knew this wasn't a coincidence. As he watched, Chen Fan answered with a cheerful, hello. Then, Chen Fan's voice blasted from the fat man's own phone. It hit him like a ton of bricks. The bright smile on Chen Fan's face suddenly seemed menacing. You. The fat man stammered, suddenly terrified. The staff member next to him was equally bewildered. What was going on? Looking for the owner of Guanshan International Golf Course. Well, here he is. What did you want to see him about? Chen Fan asked, looking directly at the slightly overweight man. You really are, the owner of Guanshan International Golf Course. The fat man's voice trembled, his face a mask of disbelief. Need proof? Chen Fan replied, unfazed. Chen Fan's voice echoed from the phone again, just to rub it in. The fat man cautiously eyed his phone. Sure enough, the contact was labeled Chen Fan, new owner of Guanshan International Golf Course. Accurate, he'd been running his mouth, acting like a big shot, but the real deal was standing right in front of him. A wave of shame washed over him. He wanted to disappear. This was beyond embarrassing. Mr. Chen. The fat man tried to force a smile that looked more like a grimace, hoping to salvage the situation. Didn't you say that the moment you connected, I'd be blacklisted and kicked out by the owner of Guanshan International Golf Course? Go ahead, make it happen, Chen Fan said, his gaze fixed on the man. Mr. Chen. I didn't mean it like that, the fat man stammered, trying to backtrack. Put him and everyone connected to him on the blacklist for Guanshan International Golf Course. Kick them out, Chen Fan instructed the staff member, giving him a taste of his own medicine. The staff member, still stunned, snapped to attention. Yes, sir. Hearing this, the fat man panicked. Being blacklisted himself was bad enough, but having his associates blacklisted too? That was a disaster. Before he could protest, the staff had already begun escorting him off the premises, and it wasn't just him. The dozen or so guests who'd come with him were also blacklisted and kicked out of Guanshan International Golf Course. They angrily confronted the fat man, and when they learned he was the reason for their expulsion, they were furious. Our partnership is over. Don't contact me again. Knowing you has been nothing but bad luck. The guests unloaded on the fat man, venting their frustration. These were his clients, essential to his business. By alienating so many key contacts at once, he'd ruined his career. No. The fat man slumped to the ground, defeated. It was over. He was finished. Back on the course, Chen Fan and Xia Ruoxue resumed their game. Xia Ruoxue was teaching her sister how to play, while Chen Fan watched. Suddenly, his phone rang. It was Wei Jingxiong. Chen Fan had barely answered when Wei Jingxiong's urgent voice came through the line. Mr. Chen, something's come up. I just got word. Oh. What's the situation? Chen Fan asked cautiously. Here's the deal, Mr. Chen. My sources tell me that the fourth son of the Chen family, along with Yan Zhubin, Jiangzhou's top underground boss, met with Yang Jinping, the major shareholder of Yongtai Real Estate Group. Wei Jingxiong continued, so I sent someone to look into it and found that the fourth son and Yan Zhubin have also met with several other Yongtai shareholders in the past couple of days. My guess is the Chen family is trying to get their hands on Yongtai Real Estate Group's money. Wei Jingxiong concluded. Over the years, Wei Jingxiong had built an extensive intelligence network in Jiangzhou, with eyes and ears in all the important places. This information came directly from that network. Starting with Yongtai Real Estate Group, Chen Fan murmured. Ever since he successfully outmaneuvered the Chen family and snatched the Wanheng Software Group project from old Mr. Chen, the family had been uncharacteristically quiet. This was unusual. Knowing Mr. Chen's personality, he wouldn't let this go. Chen Fan had suspected as much, so he'd contacted Chen Wenjing the night before. Unfortunately, Mr. Chen's plans were tightly guarded. Not even Chen Wenjing, let alone his other children, knew what he was up to, but now, Wei Jingxiong had confirmed his suspicions. Big Brother Wei's intelligence network is really something, Chen Fan said, impressed. He envied Wei Jingxiong's reach. The information Wei Jingxiong gathered and shared was invaluable. Wei Jingxiong had spent over a decade building his network, and it was paying off big time. It was a shame he didn't have his own intelligence operation. Having only broken ties with the Chen family recently, he didn't have his own sources, which put him at a disadvantage. This was a weakness he needed to address. If only he had a network like that. Wei Jingxiong smiled, pleased by Chen Fan's praise. His network was his proudest accomplishment. Mr. Chen, you're too kind. My network is yours now. 2, Wei Jingxiong replied earnestly. He was fully committed to Chen Fan, even if it meant severing ties with his own family. He believed his future success hinged on Chen Fan. Still, despite Wei Jingxiong's offer, it wasn't the same as having his own dedicated network. Wei Jingxiong added, Chen Xiao, I've sent people to dig deeper and find out what the Chen family and the Yongtai shareholders are really up to. I have a feeling this is serious. I trust my network.